all Americans need to know a little bit about the politics in the Middle East. Go all the way back to World War I, when the Ottoman Turks ruled the Middle East, Mesopotamia, modern Iraq, parts of Persia, which is Iran, and Saudi Arabia. And it was around this time that more and more oil was being discovered and more oil was being needed. So since the Ottoman Turks sided with the Germans in World War I, when the Germans lost, the British, the French, and the Americans came into the Middle East and they kind of divided it up. There was something called the Red Line Agreement that divided the territories not by their clan or their language, but by which colonial power gets what. So a country like Kuwait, as a good example, used to be a part of the ethnicity of what we think of as the Iraqi people. Matter of fact, the capital for the clan that is now a part of Kuwait was in Basra, which is now in Iraq. And the reason that they drew that line, separating the people from their own capital, was because Kuwait itself sits on an oil field, and that was given as a concession. So the British colonial powers and the Americans carved out what was called the Turkish Petroleum Company, or the TPC, later known as the IPC. And they divided up Mesopotamia, and this is what they called the Red Line Agreement. And you see, all the people in the Middle East grow up understanding that all their countries were created by colonial powers. There are puppets of these great powers who are controlled by the oil companies, put in these dictators. Typically, they don't have democracies. We have people like Saudi Arabians. They have a king, or you have an imam. You have different sheikh or somebody who is a clan leader, but they're not democracies. And here we are saying we pro-democracy, but what we've really been doing is putting up vicious dictators that we give a lot of money to so we can drill their oil for cheap. And so many of the wars that are occurring, much of the resentment in the Middle East, and what's boiling up into what could be an even bigger war, is because people in the Middle East understand the history of the Middle East, and Americans don't understand what we're doing over there. It's understood we need to get oil, and we have to have a powerful country to make sure that we get that powerful resource. On the other hand, I think Americans need to understand how the people over there feel. We don't always see what role we're playing in hurting them, their economy, and their life.